Hey guys, welcome back to CCF1, where today we are doing episode 3 of the F1 draft. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing a Vancouver Canucks ice hockey jersey, it's because today we are doing the first ever themed F1 draft, and we're going to Canada. And I've got 3 awesome Canadian content creators joining us today. I've got Cassidy and Chris from CCF1, and I've got Zach from the Apex. Welcome to the channel. How are you doing?
Doing good, dressed festive. I really want to win this. Very competitive person.
We're doing great. Thanks for having us, man.
My pleasure.
I'm doing great. As long as my Leafs do well this season, that's all I care about. And winning this too would be pretty nice.
Exactly. We're all very competitive. I can tell there's been a lot of chat about who's been planning what, but we're doing something a little bit different with today's theme. 2020 season's done. I'm fed up of it. I'm done drafting it. So today we're doing a very special Canada edition. And the way it's going to work is each of us have been invited to attend a special Grand Prix at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And each of us are going to be entering a team. From that team, we're going to have 2 drivers. Now, these 2 drivers have to have won the Canadian Grand Prix since the circuit was renamed to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in '83. So there's some epic drivers to choose from. And as a celebration of Canada, each of us will have a title sponsor for our team. They have to be a Canadian business or brand. And they've been given some budget to invite some celebrities down to again celebrate the wonderful Canadian Grand Prix motorsport scene, and we will each get Canadian celebrity to have in the garage as a special guest, and we'll let you guys decide who has come away with the best package. So without further ado, we've already set the draft order earlier today, and it is Chris who has the pleasure of going first, the pressure of going first. Before you make your pick, Chris, where's your head at being first? Are you excited? Are you nervous? What are you thinking?
I mean, lots of drivers to choose from between the first race there and today. I'm scared that the audience is going to think I picked the wrong driver, but in the most cases, I feel like I can at least pick a safe one. But I'm excited to see where everything lines up, which other drivers you guys take off from my list for the second choice, but I'm excited.
Let's see then. So give it to us, Chris. Who are you going for?
So the first choice in this driver draft for my team is none other than, of course, Michael Schumacher.
Oh, of course.
I'm not coming.
I mean, I knew it was on your guys' radar for sure. He's won at the race 7 times already. 7-time world champion. You can't go wrong. The name is very well known. It'll bring some interest to the team. So I'm happy to have the German on my team.
Yeah, phenomenal pick. I would definitely have gone with that if I'd have been in your position as well. So there we have it, the first driver off the board. An absolutely epic choice. Cassidy, you have drawn second. You're going next. Would you have gone with Michael had you been first?
Yes, but I'm also very confident in my second option for first driver. That makes sense. I am also going with 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. It's a safe bet. The Canadian Grand Prix is a place he has won at many, many times. Sometimes controversially, but let's not get into that right now. But solid choice. Solid first choice for my team.
Solid first 2 choices. Like you said, you've both taken the most winningest drivers at that circuit. So you 2 are sitting pretty. You're looking very happy there on camera, leaving me and Zach out here with some poorer choices, but still some absolutely epic ones. And third in the draft is myself. Now, obviously, I think all of us would have made the same choices that had gone. I was going to go Schumacher, so people thought I wasn't going to be Brit bias. If Lewis was still here, I was going to take Lewis. So there's a couple of people on there, multiple winners as well. One of them has a huge amount of history and prestige that they're going to bring, and I think I'm going to bring him into the team for that reason, and that is Ayrton Senna. He won there in 88 and 90, and I think some of the other drivers there are maybe a little bit more modern, but I want to have a bit of that history, like Chris said, with his choice with Michael. So for me, probably the next best one. I don't know what you think, Zach. You seemed a little bit disappointed there. Would you have had him coming in fourth?
Well, the thing is there's so many legendary drivers that have won this race that it was so hard for me in fourth to determine who would be still available. But I have a few that I still have in my arsenal that I'm very much looking forward to picking as my first driver for Apex Zambelli Racing, Alain Prost, the professor himself.
Nice.
Had to go for it.
Yeah.
He's just the perfect man for the team. He calculates every corner. He knows exactly how much he needs to drive that car. And as a solid number one, I'm going to take the Frenchman.
Yeah, really solid choice there. Again, good bit of legacy, good bit of history, world champion, class driver, and one of the things that you get the benefit now of with the snake pick is you get to go again. So you had a bit of a free hit, to be honest, with that one. Who are you putting alongside him for your team? This will be your driver lineup now. This is your last pick for the driver. Still some pretty solid names. Where are you going?
I'm very confident as to where I'm going with this now. Now that I know who I have access to,
I'm stressed.
it's gonna be a stud lining of Alain Prost and future Alpine driver Fernando Alonso.
Ooh, okay.
We've got two very strong drivers on one lap and in the race. I'm feeling good about these two.
That is very interesting. That is a stellar lineup. I'm not going to lie. I knew that we could only have 8 drivers because there's 4 of us picking twice. Alonso didn't make my cut of the 8. I was never, ever going to pick him. So that's freed me up a little bit. And I'm going to maybe go...
So you're saying I helped you?
You've helped me a little bit. You've helped me a little bit. I mentioned before, I did want a Brit if Lewis Hamilton was still available, if I got one of those first 2 picks. There's a couple there I'm looking at now, which is maybe Nigel Mansell, who's won it, Damon Hill, who's won it as well. But I think to bring a little bit more of that security of someone who knows their way around their track, another multiple winner, still racing, just joined Aston Martin Racing from Ferrari, I'm going to take Sebastian Vettel. I think him and Senna would be an absolutely killer lineup, and again, a multiple race winner at the track. That's 4 wins between my 2 drivers already at this circuit, and that's my driver lineup: Sebastian Vettel alongside Ayrton Senna. And it's back to you, Cassidy.
Well, damn it.
You guys are... I've literally had... I remember I told you guys I color coordinated this myself, and all of them have gotten scratched off at this point, and I think Cass is going to take the last one, possibly.
I'm a bit torn now between 2.
Do you want me to tell you which one to take?
No. I think you know which one I'm going
It's cheating.
with.
No.
I'm going with a choice from the heart. I'm going for charisma. I'm going for an iconic win. I'm going for someone that is going to bring the crowds while also being a fantastic driver. And I think future world champion material if the car goes the right way. My second driver is going to be none other than Daniel Ricciardo. Iconic first win. I'm biased, yes, I accept it, but he's a fan favorite and he's definitely my favorite.
100%. I think he was one that was probably, I don't want to say a bit of a sleeper. No one was going to take him first, but if Seb wasn't there, I would probably have gone for him myself as well. He's a good guy. And like you said, I'd love McLaren to put him in something where maybe he could compete there next season. Mercedes engine in the back. Nice bit of power they've shown this season and a fantastic driver. And that means, Chris, we're back to you. You had the brilliance of choosing first. You've now had to wait. Your colour code's gone out the window, it sounds like.
Oh, it has, because that was my final one.
Oh, no.
It was, and actually it was my 3rd pick, and I realized I miscounted the number of color coordinators. I only had 7, so now I'm kind of lost at what to choose.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I think deep down in my heart, the fans will also like this. We're in a cold country here in Canada, so I'm going to have to go alongside with Michael Schumacher, Kimi Räikkönen, the Iceman. We'll get the Finn in there, and two very well experienced drivers, I think. And both are drivers that people really like to watch racing and just hear their jokes off track too.
Yeah, 100%. Kimi, he's been getting a bit of stick I've seen on social because so many young drivers are losing their seats at the minute, but I almost never want him to leave the grid at the same time. I think he still offers so much, and I actually thought he had a decent second half of this season. Some of the places that Alfa Romeo was finding itself in, leading some laps at one point at Monza as well. So yeah, solid lineup there. So there we have it. There's our cars filled. Chris has got Michael Schumacher and Kimi Räikkönen. Cassidy has got Lewis Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. I have got Senna and Seb Vettel, and Zach has got Prost and Alonso. And what we need to do now is put them into some cars. And instead of drafting a car from the season or a car from the history of F1, we're all using the same spec car, but we need someone to fund it. We need a sponsor to get the drivers in the cars, and we are choosing some Canadian title sponsors for our teams. And this round is starting with you, Chris.
Again. Oof. So the team in which that's going to be sponsoring my Formula One team is going to be Molson Brewery, a Canadian brewery. Although it has to go up against some competition with Heineken, we are going to put a little twist to this sponsorship. It's going to be the Molson Edge can, which is their 0% alcohol.
Yes, nice.
Drinking and driving, of course.
Nice.
So we are going to be the Molson Edge Formula One racing team.
Oh,
Some
I
big
like
brain
that.
energy right there.
Yeah, and it's
That's got a good ring to it.
Thank you.
That's got a
Nice.
great ring to it. Drink responsibly, kids. And actually, Zach, you said to me you were going to rock it with a Molson beer in hand, but I don't see it. There we go. There we go.
He's already
Take it on board.
repping the brand. He's on board
Fantastic.
with my team.
Cheers.
We'll get you into the paddock, Zach. VIP
Oh,
pass.
perfect. Thank you.
Now, this is a round, I know, Cassidy, you mentioned beforehand, you had a very specific brand or business in mind for this one. It's your pick. If it wasn't Molson, you're sitting pretty. I'm guessing you're going to get what you wanted.
I am indeed, and I do have a feeling that this is not going to be a brand that anybody else thought of, or at least wanted, but I'm very focused on the aesthetic. So, everyone in Canada needs groceries, and with Loblaws being one of our bigger grocers in Canada, I went with one of their sub-brands that is known as the No Name brand. So my F1 team is going to be No Name F1 team, and our livery will be branded as such. It's a bit of an underdog choice, but I think in terms
that's
of
genius.
team merch and liveries and just the overall presentation, it's going to win people over.
I like it.
That's
I
genius.
don't know who
Oh
they
my
are, but it
gosh.
sounds brilliant.
I will send you photos and you will understand perfectly why this is such a big deal for Canadians.
Yeah, you'll have to show it
Yes.
on the screen because that car livery is going to look really good.
Mwah.
That's
Chef's
the
kiss.
Yes.
the thumbnail for this video sorted. There, No Name F1 show.
Yeah.
Watch
Awesome.
out for copyright.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we have Molson, we have No Name F1. It's back to me. I'm not in the culture, so I don't know what the cool things are. I don't know about No Name, which sounds like an awesome one. So I was pretty limited, but there is a Canadian brand that has started having a little bit of a foothold here in the UK in the last few years. They've opened up a few stores, or should I say, you'll find, not stores, more cafes, shall we say, here in the UK. I'd only heard of them previously through movies and popular culture and things like that, but it does begin with a T, which helps for my TGSF1 team. So it's Tim Horton. It's got to be Tim Hortons. It is,
Of course.
it's the top one that came up. It was a T. I like coffee. I'm drinking coffee right now, even though it's nearly midnight. But that is what we're going to go with. We are going with the Tim Hortons TGS F1 team. And the branding, I didn't think as much as you, Cassidy, about what it would look like, but maybe like some coffee spilling and flying off rapidly back against the livery, something like that. Who knows? But Tim Hortons, I'm pretty happy with that one. Over to you, Zach.
And you know what?
No, yes, go.
Yeah, the cursive on that car with the Tim Hortons logo would actually, if you did it the right way, that would look pretty good, I have to say.
It's a nice font. It's a nice font, and
It
I
is.
knew it was going to come up at some point, but there's actually
yeah.
a surprising amount of direction you could go in.
You know,
yeah. The coffee's terrible, but
Yes.
it is what
I
it
was
is.
going to say, can you enlighten me as to the actual, the Canadians' view of Tim Hortons? Oh, no.
I think a lot of people get Tim Hortons if you want to spite Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's not great.
My dad fully was
No.
focused on Tim Hortons, and then he's transitioned since. So I think it's lost its touch
Oh,
over the
damn it.
years.
Damn it. Well, I'll bring it back
Yeah.
when we win the F1 title and this,
Absolutely.
this special race at Circuit Juliana.
You can get some good promotion in there, that's for sure. Hand out some flyers, some coupons.
The sponsorship possibilities are endless, honestly.
Oh yeah.
It's all about the marketing. It's all about the marketing. So,
Hardest working team.
there we go.
That's what the drivers say, at least.
So,
You operate there.
over to you, Zach. You've drawn the short straw, but we're only doing one round of this, so I'm sure there's plenty of brands, and I know you had a few in mind already. Who is going to be plastered on Prost and Alonso's overalls?
So I didn't think too much about the color of the brand, which is weird for me because I love graphic design and everything. And my color, if anyone watches my channel, my color is like a light blue. The color of the sponsor I've chosen is red, normally. But I just picked them for their logo, and that is Canadian Bank, Scotiabank. Because it's just that icon just looks so good. It's going to look so good on the side of the car. And we get to go up against the rival Nicholas Latifi with his RBC car. So it's going to work.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, they were, during my Googling, they were definitely one of the top companies in terms of, there was them. The other ones I had in mind was like Air Canada or possibly even, because I was on the ice hockey theme, like CCM or someone like that. Then another one that popped up, you'll have to tell me whether these are in Canadian Tire. They do like automotive stuff and sport and everything else. Would that have been a good choice? That was my fallback.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
That would have been a good choice.
Because it just fits in with the tires.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Not sure I'd use those, but
Don't, you might lock off some sponsorship opportunities. Come on, you guys are flying right now.
Yeah.
just cut out in post.
Edit.
I'll give you Scotiabank as well because they've sponsored full arenas, so they have the money more than a few of our other choices.
That cash flow, Zach is going to be swimming. You're good.
Absolutely. And it's the arena for the Leafs. So, I mean, it works. It just works.
Nice. Fantastic. Okay, well, there's round 3 done. We've got our title sponsors. We've got some cars. We've got some cool liveries. We've got some drivers driving it. But as with any Formula 1 event, we need a bit of glitz and a bit of glamour. And we've invited some Canadian celebrities down to guest in the garage, get those shots for the Sky TV cameras, and just raise the profile of our teams. And there's a lot of celebrities who are Canadian that I didn't know were Canadian when I was Googling. So there's some pretty sick options, to be fair. But it's not my pick. It's back to Zach. Zach, you get your second double dip of the afternoon, your final pick of the draft. Who is guesting in your garage?
Yes, so I'm really happy about this, that I'm getting the first pick for celebrity. Even though my pick is not on anyone's radar, I'm going to say it. You guys might not know who I'm talking about. The fans might not know who I'm talking about. Trust me, it makes sense. I'm going with Canadian rock legend Chad Kroeger, lead singer of Nickelback.
Interesting.
Oh my god!
It is, you know what? They're going to get Nickelback back on the map. They're a good band. I stand by them. And it's just a perfect promotional opportunity.
I have seen them in concert. I can attest to that. But he was on my list, but I just didn't know if I wanted to jump all in for it. Just going to be honest.
That's awesome.
You know what? Nickelback ended up with all that stick. They came out with like 2 banging albums and then just sort of got absolutely blitzed by modern life. I don't know what happened. Are they still even floating around in Canada? Are they doing like small arena tours? Like what's the...
In my heart, they're floating around, okay? They're still there.
I mean, they're Chad Kroeger's married to Avril Lavigne, another Canadian princess. So,
Yes.
you know, we got the heritage in here.
Exciting.
That's not who I'm picking, by the way.
I don't see... Maybe I'm wrong. Will Alain Prost enjoy kicking it with Chad Kroeger? I just don't know.
100%. 100%. They've already talked. It's fine.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, well, it's over to me, and there's a few options. Maybe I'll run through some of the ones I was going to go after I've made my pick, so I don't give a couple away. But I have 2 sort of man crushes in the world who are Canadian. Not necessarily either of them. One of them's very attractive to them. One of them less so. But the one I'm going for is Seth Rogen. He is absolutely hilarious. I find him so funny. He's just got a does not give a fuck attitude to everything. I think the fans would be excited by him. And I think that he'd be a good guy to have around an F1 paddock, just causing mayhem, blowing weed smoke in people's faces, and just getting into all sorts of mischief. So for that reason, I am going to take Seth Rogen, and he is going to join me in the Tim Hortons TGSF1 team, and he's going to just be, you know, hanging out with, I can't even remember who I picked now. Who did I pick? Vettel. He's going to be hanging out with Vettel. He's going to be hanging out with Senna. It's going to be a good time. So I'm taking Seth Rogen.
His laugh will be heard over the V6 engines. That's
You got to get him to guest feature in the commentator box. I think you would be doing everyone a service.
That is a good
Oh,
shout.
yeah.
That's a great shout. Fantastic. Make sure he mentions Tim Hortons and how delicious the coffee is while he's up there. So, Cassidy, over to you. You've got your last pick to join you in your who's your no-name F1 team. Who is going to be your guest of honor?
So, I'm very curious to see if this will be your other man crush, because I think he's a man crush for a lot of people. I am going with none other than Ryan Reynolds. We've got...
It was.
See,
It was.
You have great taste. What can I say? I mean, he's hilarious. He's so famous. I feel like he would be great for photo opportunities. He's so charismatic. And if we're lucky, maybe he'll bring his wife, Blake Lively, along with him. So it could be, you know, a 1-for-1 type of scenario here.
Smart. 2 for the price of 1. I like that. And yeah, he was obviously the other one. It was a toss up, but Seth was there. But Ryan, what a solid choice. Which leaves you, Chris. Again, I don't know. Did you have Chad Kruger? Are you annoyed that he's been taken? Have any of yours been taken, or have you got who you wanted?
Believe it or not, all
still?
4 of my options on this list are still in this, and I'm quite surprised. And I still think at least 3 of them are really fitting for my team. But it's going to be hard now. Just choosing one. I thought you guys would help me make that decision.
How about this, Chris? How about you tell us who you're not going to pick, but who you had left, and then settle on your choice?
Yeah, we can do that. So I guess I would say all 4 then. First, the 3 from bottom up. So we have World Olympic runner Donovan Bailey. He's referred to as back in the day in 1996 as the fastest man. So I thought that'd be very fitting for a race car. And also a fun little fact, apparently my parents were going to name me Donovan because that was the year I was born. Next choice before that one was going to be Celine Dion. She's a Quebec hero here in Canada, and she would have been great for that national anthem. Would have been a star.
I'm like,
Ahead of Chad, really?
Ahead
of Chad, really?
Celine.
True.
The second one would have been Wayne Gretzky, the all-time hockey great, as you guys are wearing the jerseys. So I thought another great, have Schumacher in there with Gretzky, 2 greats, both speaking it out. But the choice I did choose is another one of the greats. However, it's in the music scene, of course, from Toronto. None other than Drake.
Yeah.
Called it, yeah. He's going to be
And
there.
he's going to bring so many eyes
him.
to the sport. You see what he does for the Toronto Raptors. He has everyone invested. He's investing into the team, giving the Raptors a whole gymnasium that they can work out of. So I'm hoping he'd be able to provide that for my team. Maybe even we can go off his record label, OVO, just for some branding and some good merch. So that's why I'm going with Drake. Has lots of following. Could bring both Schumacher and Drake, brings a lot of eyes to the sport and to my team. Yeah.
Definitely. He was my 4. He was one of them as the backup. I didn't go for him because I felt like he did with my F1 team, but for bringing the eyeballs there, I think you're spot on. The other one, which you actually joked about, was not kidding. Avril Lavigne was going to be my other one. So that's where we're sort of at with that. So awesome. So that concludes the draft in terms of all our choices. You are going to have a chance now to pitch your team for the masses to vote for, to see who is going to take the crown and join Tommo F1 and Dan from F1 Reviews in the draft winners circle. We'll start with you, Zach, because you haven't had a pick in a while. You chose Alain Prost, Alonso. You then chose Scotiabank, and then you brought Chad Kroger of all people
Yep.
to your team. Pitch the people. Why should they choose you?
All right, listen. It's pretty simple. All right. You come in, you see the team, you see two absolute icons of the sport. One who is somewhat disliked in Alain Prost, and another who is also very disliked in Fernando Alonso. But you bring the two of them together, and you get some sort of clashing of the villains. And people love stories like that. And then, not only that, you get one of the most disliked Canadian or just singers in general, and you just get this team, right, that is just overall disliked. The amount of press that would get is unbelievable. It's huge for the sport because it doesn't have to be good advertising as long as it's advertising. It's huge for the sport. I think it just needs to happen in general. And yeah, that is my terrible pitch for my terrible team.
Sponsored by Scotiabank.
Sponsored by Scotiabank. I don't even bank with them, so I can't vouch for them very
Shots
well. But
fired.
it's not looking good for me. It's not looking good.
Awesome. Okay, Zach. Well, the link will be in the description below. The next person to pitch, let's fire it to you, Cassidy. Pitch us your team. You took Lewis Hamilton. You then followed that up with Daniel Ricciardo. You put them in no-name F1 team. Sorry, I don't know who it is, I'm afraid. But then you did bring Ryan Reynolds, who I can definitely back. Why should people vote for you?
I mean, look, you have statistically the greatest driver of all time on my team. I know it's disputed. We don't have time to unpack all that. But Lewis is adored. Daniel is considered as one of the most well-liked drivers of all time. He's got the talent. He's got the pace. I think the amount of content that we would get of having these two drivers as teammates would be next level, both on and off the track. No-name F1 team. The livery alone speaks for itself. It is an iconic brand across Canada. The sponsorship possibilities are endless in terms of merch, giveaways. I could go on forever about how I just love the layout of how this looks so much. And you can literally just brand the car as F1 car. That's it. It speaks for itself. It's simple. It's to the point. And then we have Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool himself. We're not going to talk about Green Lantern. We don't go there. But
Nope.
Just one of the most recognizable faces in Hollywood. He's a nice guy. He's charming. The camera clearly loves him. So what's not to like? My team's the best. So I really want.
There you go. solid pitch. I'll pitch my team before throwing back to yourself, Chris. So me, I took Ayrton Senna, probably one of the most beloved drivers in the history of the sport, one of the best to ever step foot onto the Formula One grid and into a car. I backed him up with Sebastian Vettel. So I'm not going to lie, I would say probably quite a serious and less fun and funky lineup than perhaps some of the others you've seen. But I've got all the fun and the funky with Seth bloody Rogen. He is going to be at track. He's going to be on billboards. He's going to be on adverts. He's going to be causing an absolute scene during the grid walk. He's going to go and cause havoc with Ted when he's doing Ted's notebook at the end of the race. He's going to be all over the place. The cameras, Ryan might look pretty, but Seth is where everyone's going to be paying attention. Trust me. And backing him is big brand, Tim Hortons. They're going global. They've got a few stores here in the UK now. I'm just helping them market that to the whole world. So I think from a corporate point of view and on-track performance, merged perfectly. And that is why you should finally vote for me to win one of my own flipping drafts, please.
Well said.
Chris,
well said.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Chris, you took Schumacher. Everyone wanted him. You had that first pick. You then had to wait a little bit longer and picked up the Iceman Kimi Räikkönen.
Can't help it, okay?
Put them with Molson, who Zach has been sipping on all video, which seems to be a good sign as far as I can tell. and then you bought Drake, to be fair. So that is pretty solid. Why should people vote for you?
The reason why people should vote for me is we got a team of solid drivers here. We have one of the greatest of, if not the greatest of all time, alongside Kimi. That combination, you know that they're going to bring that experience. They're not going to be messing around, making some silly mistakes on the track. We have Molson Brewery, who notably has a big factory here in Montreal, so you could get those shots of it just off the corner while you're in the helicopter. It's right along the water. And then, of course, Drake, he's going to bring tons of new eyes to the sport and gain their interest in what better drivers to watch than get to know Kimi and Schumacher from that team. Not only that, but there's could be some pretty cool after parties after with my team, sponsored by Molson. Drink responsibly.
Fantastic. Well, there you have it. Well, the vote is going to be linked in the description. It's going to be pinned to my Twitter page, so make sure to check that out. Also in the links will be, also in the description, will be the links to these guys' channels, CCF1 and the Apex. Guys have been blowing up CCF1 over the past couple of months. Tell my viewers, who are almost definitely come here from your channel anyway, what's going on at your channel. What can they expect there? We're heading into the off season, but what can they expect from you guys, and what are they going to find at what is a brilliant channel? And I would definitely sub if you haven't already.
Well, thank you. High praise. Wow. So we post weekly videos on anything from race reviews, F1 rumors. We look at subcategories of topics within F1 that we're particularly interested in. I have an ongoing series with hopefully some interesting guests lined up in the near future for a deep dive into the roles of F1 staff. And you can pretty much guarantee that there's going to be something new on our channel every week.
Yeah, we're always just trying to do something different to keep the variety of videos up and to keep our audience interested. So consider subscribing.
Yeah, I definitely do. And also, similarly brilliant channel, Zach the Apex has some fantastic design type content, as you referenced in this video. Also manages to make the least funny jokes ever hilarious. I don't know how he does it, but Zach, tell the guys about your channel, what they can find there, and yeah, definitely if you've not seen Zach before, go and check that out right now. But he's going to pitch it for you.
Yeah, so at the Apex, not F1, because we can't talk about that anymore for some reason. I just like to do stuff about F1 that no one would ever possibly conceive. A while back, I did a tier list on the best mustaches in Formula 1, because why not? And a couple weeks ago, I did a video on the F1 photo mode. I recreated real-life F1 photos in the F1 2020 game, and it's a good time. I just started a series, Waffle Wednesdays, where I waffle about anything I want to about Formula 1 on a Wednesday. It's pretty self-explanatory. So if you're into that, just come on over. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, yeah, definitely check all those out. Canadians, thank you so much for joining me. It's been an absolute blast. Go and check out their channels. Go and vote. Subscribe here if you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you on the next one.